I'd like to introduce you now to another outstanding young woman who is an Urban Squash alumni. And we'll just take a minute to think about Reyna Pacheco's story, because really, in so many ways, she's a poster child for the urban squash movement. She was born in Tijuana, Mexico, and she moved to San Diego with her family when she was only 4 years old. Reyna started playing squash in 8th grade at the Access Youth Academy in San Diego. She was an enormously talented junior player. I don't think she hit the tin very much, looking at her record. She went on to triumph at the Urban Squash Individual Nationals 4 times, and she had a US squash ranking of 12 in the country. Reyna then won a Bill and Melinda Gates Millennium Scholarship to Columbia University, where she's an urban studies major, and she plays number 4 on the varsity squash team. In fact, she was, of course, playing squash today against Yale, I believe, and I hope that you won, but you can tell us whether you did. Anyway, Reyna is here tonight to tell us all what urban squash has meant to her life, and I'd like to welcome her onto the stage. Reyna.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to go ahead and start my speech since I'm a little nervous. Wanting more than the basic necessities is a luxury I did not grow up with. Desiring was not something I felt free to do. When urban squash first came into my life, I had no idea this was a luxury my program wanted me to have. My time in Access Youth Academy challenged me in more ways than one. I guess, just like on the squash court, timing is everything. When the staff at Access came to the auditorium at my school when I was in 8th grade, I paid little attention to what the presenters were saying and more to the program's apparent difference, its rarity, its challenge. Now that I come to think of it, by its perfect timing. My mother, who is the bravest woman I know, has always kept it together for us and has always found a way to show us what persistence and love looks like. She always finds a way to make us appreciate the little we have. She always finds a way to smile about it. Just recently, she was telling us a story about how her boss at Wendy's, a fast food restaurant, was paying her $9.05, and she was paying everyone else $9. She was proud to tell us that her work was being valued. My brother and I looked at each other and said, that is our mom. It is incredible how much she has struggled, and yet she finds value in the smallest things. She is grateful for everything and takes absolutely nothing for granted. This same woman told Renato Paiva, my coach and the executive director at Access, to sit on an upside-down bucket when he first came to ask permission for me to join the program. She had no idea what Access was, yet she trusted that I knew what I was doing. Of course, I did not admit to her that I had doubts about the whole thing. While it is true that my experience at Access has been life-changing, it was not always easy. The journey was a struggle, and there were many times that I was ready to yell at Renato. What in the world was he thinking when he kept being so grandiose in his ideas about life? Half of the time I cried myself to sleep, thinking that things would not work out, that I was wrong to think that I could draw the grandiose plans that the program thought I could. Plans require resources, they require time, and they require a position of comfort that I did not share. Today, I love my insatiable and sometimes crazy ambitions. At the time, I hadn't allowed myself to have them because I saw them as impossibilities. One of my deepest fears was to desire something so much you could hardly sleep at night. Every day of my life, I have seen my parents work hard and live in the same house, in the same neighborhood, and wear the same clothes. At home, we have no luxuries. We have always had very little, and with little, we have always made a lot. But with that said, there were never any extras. There weren't many Christmas presents. There weren't many new clothes. We have always had just enough food and a roof above our heads. To be honest, I am proud of the home that I come from because the courage and persistence my family has demonstrated to me every day. My family creates my core and drives me every day. But it is easy to understand why I was scared to want with an ardent desire to achieve or to have a vision for myself like the one that my program thought I could have and should have. With time, I learned to focus on small things. Renato was really big on detail. He took away my fear by teaching me that outcomes did not matter as much as the person I was becoming through the process. While big pictures ideas like college seemed outrageous to think about, they intrigued me. What intrigued me and made me want to be the best version of Reyna that I could be. Through the program, I was surrounded by interesting people and became a sponge, taking in what I saw to be the best qualities in people. Every night when I went to bed, I thought about how I wanted to be the person who worked the hardest. It wasn't really about goals that I was secretly wanted to achieve. It was more about proving to my parents that things did not have to be the way they were. But that had never been a thing. I had never come home and told my parents that I wanted more. I had never said to them that I wanted to travel the world, or that I wanted to be an athlete, or that I needed to drink lots of water, and that I wanted healthy food. The daughter my mom knew quickly required more. And there is nothing more painful for a parent than to see their kid want more and you cannot give it to them. You cannot magically make them green card holders or pay their college tuition or give them a ride to practice because you need the car for work. I guess my mom did not realize my family had already provided me with the most essential necessity and biggest present anyone could give, which is to show me persistence, courage, and love what they looked like. Today, I live in a city my parents have yet to see, and I live a life they cannot imagine. Today, I'm close to getting a college degree, one my brothers so clearly deserve to have the opportunity to obtain. I have seen places in the world that generations of my family have never gotten to see. I had and continue to have a luxury that is so rare in the world I come from, the luxury to want more and more, the luxury to think big, and the luxury to plan. Somehow, I was the lucky one who had urban squash and who had a complete stranger who sat on a bucket in my house never give up on me, a stranger I now consider family. Opportunity is scarce. I'm very lucky to have had people invest their time in me, individuals whom I consider myself privileged to know. Many are here tonight. I have yet to achieve anything with this investment, at least not the grandiose ideas that I have learned to have, the kind that do not let me sleep at night. But while I am on my journey, I always remember that I am living a dream that I am so eagerly waiting to be able to one day share with my family. In this way, I am one example of many that Urban Squash is doing invaluable work that cannot be measured. So on behalf of all of us in Urban Squash, those who are here tonight and those who are not, those who are enrolled and those who are making their way through life as adults, I want to thank you for helping to make all of this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Reyna, for that beautiful and moving speech. Really, it's just so powerful to think that your parents gave you the most important thing in the world, which is love. And look what you did with it. It's amazing. Congratulations.